Hey guys!
I'm Lana Rivers.
And I'm Juan Ramos.
And we are starting our channel about modeling business.
Yeah, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you guys being here.
This is our first video ever, so we're gonna take it easy at first and introduce ourselves. I've been into modeling and acting industry for over 10 years. I am originally from Ukraine, and that's where my modeling journey began. I was approached by a scout on a subway train, and 2 months later I was already in the modeling school. My life took this whole new turn, and I realized I am the happiest when I'm on set. Over the past 10 years, I have done everything from runway to magazines, from commercials to hair shows. I've been on social media advertisements, regular commercials on TV, and on some reality shows actually in Ukraine.
Holy crap, I didn't know that.
Yes. And right now, I am beginning to be on YouTube. This is my first video on YouTube ever.
Awesome. That's it?
Yep.
My turn? It's my turn now? Okay. Hey guys, so the way I started modeling was I kept getting approached by people, like getting hit on or stopped at the gym or other locations were like, are you a model? Or sorry to disturb you, but you're very handsome. And I never thought of myself as a handsome person or anything like that. But one day I just decided to like, hey, I keep getting told these things, so why not try it? So I began to do photo shoots, and I literally fell in love with it, and it's fun, and it's something creative, and I'm like, every time you get on set, you do something new. As I don't have as much experience as Lana, I didn't get scouted either, but I have worked with a lot of photographers and met a lot of talented people, and it's amazing world. It's different, and you get to be a different person every day, and that's what I like about it so much. And I'm gonna do it until I'm probably like 100 years old, still with my walker, but like, take a picture. Well, yeah, that's how I got started, and thank you guys for being here. We hope to give you a lot of knowledge on how to become a model or be a model, and yeah, let's start.
Let's start. So every once in a while we get approached by someone who really wants to be a model, but they don't know where to start, what to do, where to begin, and how to structure their actions in a way that would be the most, I guess, easiest to just get into it instead of starting paying some agency that reached out to them on Instagram and asked them for $400 membership cost, and they're like, is that how people become models? No. That's why we decided to make this channel. So we kind of want to make sure that you guys have all necessary information on how to begin. We're going to be posting a video once every week?
Yes. So once every week, we'll try to do it. Maybe Mondays, maybe Tuesdays. We don't know yet. We just started the channel, but we'll figure it out, and we'll make it a lot structured for you guys, so you guys get all the information you need. And if you have any questions, don't forget to put it down in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. So the first question is, who can be a model?
Well, the short answer is everyone can be a model.
And the long answer?
Well, that one will depend on which type of modeling we're talking about, because even though everybody can be a model, but not everybody can fit into each kind of category of the modeling. There are physical limitations to some of the types, but the good news is everybody can find a type for themselves.
And that can actually be our next video. We can talk about the different types of modeling.
Yeah.
Right?
That will help people find where they belong.
Yeah, I'll set a good foundation for you guys and help explain every type of modeling. That way, you can probably find a new type of modeling that you want to do, for example, high fashion or fitness or something like that. And we'll just guide you through the steps.
Awesome.
That sounds good?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
So look out for the next video, because that's what it's about, what it's going to be about.
Yeah, types of modeling.
Types of modeling.
And now let's talk about the mindset of the models, because I think it's very important to understand what to be prepared for and what kind of a mindset will help you to succeed in this business.
Yeah. What's the mindset of a successful model?
The first point I would like to make is remember that it's okay to be a beginner. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't know something, it's always better to ask than to guess and do it wrong. We all been there. We all been in the beginning where we did not know a lot of things. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. And the more curious you are about it, the more people are gonna like you. And trust me, everybody's gonna wanna help you out. Now, the second one from me would be, don't forget to celebrate every little achievement that you have. It could be just a new headshot or the audition that you're really excited about. It could be anything. Don't forget to be grateful and celebrate not with alcohol,
every little win.
every
basically.
little win that you get that gets you closer to become more successful and accomplished. It's so easy over time, once more opportunities come your way, it's so easy to start taking them for granted and just be like, yeah, I'm striving for something much bigger. I don't care about this little thing. Those little things are what's gonna get you to that next level. So in the future, if you catch yourself taking those things for granted, slap yourself hard and remind yourself to be grateful for everything that comes your way.
Every little win counts, guys.
Yep. And the last point I would like to make is that I like to separate myself as a person from myself as a business, as a professional model. Sometimes those two sides of me can definitely work together and be combined, but there's a lot of times where me personally, I don't like or enjoy doing certain things. But then my professional self is my business, and I treat myself and my modeling side as a business. And so sometimes you have to be very realistic with yourself and be like, okay, maybe I don't enjoy doing this, but my business needs this. You have to be able to look at yourself from a side and actually do what is required, because being a model, it's not all smiling in front of the cameras. You have to do your taxes, you have to be responsible about that, and you actually have to email back and forth with a lot of people and do a lot of other things that businesses do to maintain themselves. So that's a very important part of me. And my personal self could be lighthearted, could be goofy at times. My professional self does not always have to show that way.
Be professionals, guys.
So that will help you to stay more consistent and disciplined if you don't just do whatever floats your boat today. Like whatever your business needs, write it down and do it, because that's your job.
Another big point that I want to mention is this industry is very shallow. So get ready to get judged by the way you look. It's all about looks in this industry, right?
Yeah, that's why we're so good looking.
Yeah, we are.
As you can tell.
We try to be, but yeah, it's all about the looks, guys. You can have the best personality in the world, be friends with whoever you're going to the casting call for, but you just might not fit the description they're looking for. So be ready to get judged.
And honestly, sometimes during some auditions or casting calls or before runways, it does feel like you are a horse on the market being sold.
Because basically we are. They're looking for the best horse or the best look that they can fit for whatever they need.
And it's like I feel like I'm an animal in the market, and they just come, like designer would come up and like see with who they want, and you just stand in there, and it's very awkward, and this is the feeling you will never forget. So but this is something to also be aware of and be okay with that.
Be okay with that, because they are looking at your looks. Another point I want to make, guys, you will be judged a ton, so you have to have a lot. You can't have a lot of thick skin. You have to have thick skin.
A lot of layers. Like
yeah, basically. Don't let every little criticism affect you in a bad way. If anything, take it as constructive criticism, because they might say, oh, your walk is not good. Be like, okay, I need to work on my walk. Or the way you're doing your facial expressions, it's not what we're looking for. So, okay, I need to work on my facial expressions. So don't take every criticism too hard. Take it as what was it? Did you say it again? Constructive criticism. She had to remind me. But take it as constructive criticism and use that to your advantage, because it's going to help you in the long run.
And that actually also relates to the point I've made before, that I like to separate my person, myself as a person and myself as a professional. If you get criticized on the way you walk, for example, as a model on a runway, there's no reason for me to take it personally and get offended by it. And it just means, as a professional, I could be better if my walk was better.
Or
And
my facial expressions were better,
yeah,
or whatever
same
the
thing.
situation
Whatever
is.
it is. Or if somebody tells me my hair color doesn't exactly fit most of the profiles casting directors are looking for, it doesn't mean I suck as a person. They don't tell me like, oh, we don't want to work with you, like we don't like you. No, it just means as a business, as a professional, I could improve myself, and they suggest areas on that.
So always work on improving yourself.
And work on your self-confidence too, because that one is going to get you a long way. Like true self-confidence, not when you walk around with your nose up in the air and like not talking to people because you're self-confident. No, work on your inner self-confidence, the one that is going to hold you still while people sometimes judging or criticizing you, and that's going to maintain your well-being.
And finally, my last point will be, have fun with it, guys. It's a fun industry. Be flexible. Stay in your bubble. Be you. Don't try to pose on camera, because it will show. If you're not having fun on camera, you're gonna look like a robot, right? So always be flexible. Have fun with it, but still keep it professional, because even though it's fun, the photographer or whoever you're working with needs to see that professionalism. Learn how to pose, learn how to strike a pose, learn how to do whatever you need to do with your face, whatever, your eyes. So have fun with it. Don't be too robotic, and just be flexible with whatever the creator or directors need. Have fun with it.
Have fun with it. And honestly, fun in this industry is like, there's not that many positives, and we're gonna go back to that, and we're gonna talk about positives and negatives in this business. And I feel like there's a lot of negatives, and fun is what compensates for all of those negatives. So you make sure that you actually, this gives you like that
feeling,
you'll have that feeling. Makes you enjoy yourself while you're on set.
Definitely, because trust me, you'll do a lot of different things that you've never done before. One day you might be a Barbie, and the next day you might be a I don't know, robot, for example. You get to dress up, and I love that about it. It's a lot of different things, and every set is a new set, a whole new world. That's what I love about the industry.
And also, even though a lot of people may not care about your personality or how you truly feel, in the same time, they will care about the energy you bring with you on set. So it doesn't matter how you feel in the day. If you're feeling blue or not, did you have enough sleep or not, don't come whining and complaining and telling them how I need coffee because I'm exhausted. I went to sleep at 4 a.m. Like, that's your problem.
You're here to work.
Nobody cares. They paid you. You knew ahead about this. You should have went to bed in a good time. So it's your job. That's what people expect of you, is to, with your look, bring your energy.
Bring your energy, guys, because that's all. It's a lot of energy in there. And work on your poses, walk, whatever it is. It's all gonna show. So be ready to be on camera and kill it and have fun with it. But stay professional, right?
Yeah. Pros and cons of modeling.
Now, guys, we want to talk about the pros and cons of modeling, because there are definitely a lot of sides to this industry.
Yes, because if you do not know about some underwater rocks that you may hit, you might be very disappointed. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
It can be sometimes it can be very uplifting, and sometimes it can be very disappointing. But it happens, so let's talk about it.
And the first one I would like to point out is that for women especially, and I'm saying men, it does not concern men 100%, but in my experience I haven't really met when it concerns men, but high heels for women, you have to be ready to wear high heels a lot, all the time. Okay, maybe not all the time, most of the time. The jobs are going to require you to wear high heels, and we're not talking about like 2-inch little thing. No, we're talking about pretty high heels. And this is bad for your posture, it's bad for your feet, and it hurts a lot. Sometimes you have to spend a lot of time on your heels, and you cannot really complain about it because you're a model. Like, don't be a model if you can't handle heels. So this unfortunately sucks, so just be ready for it. And I'll give you some tips and tricks later on how to minimize that pain.
That agony. It hurts. That's why it hurts. So a lot of the times, guys, also you'll go to a lot of casting calls, you'll go to a lot of modeling calls, whatever it is, and you'll get a lot, and I mean a lot of rejection. Sometimes you won't even get a call back, and you're left wondering, am I gonna get the job or not? Like, it's been 3 days, I don't know nothing yet. So guys, that's a negative. Try not to let it bother you too much.
Yeah, because you're going to be rejected most of the time.
A lot of the time.
And you almost never will know why.
Yeah, no idea. Like, man, I thought I walked good. I thought I looked good. Why didn't they call me back? But it happens a lot, guys.
Yeah, sometimes there can be 20 good people, but only one person who came there and they're great compared to the other good ones, and they're gonna pick that great one. So it doesn't mean you were bad. It just means there was somebody better for the role.
Yeah. Doesn't mean you're not better, just for the role, what they're looking for specifically.
Maybe you're too tall.
Maybe you're too short.
Or your eyes are brown. And the one they were hoping for green or something like that.
So it can be any little thing, guys. So don't let it get you down.
And another negative, another con would be something we already touched base before, and that's the business is very superficial, and you have to be ready that most of people on set are not gonna care about how you truly feel, what's happening in your personal life. Nobody gives
a flying F.
Yes, about that. So keep it to yourself, keep it professional, and your job is to bring good energy, and you kind of have to sometimes suck it up and just pretend and act like everything is great and you have tons of energy.
Yeah, don't bring the negativity to the set, guys, because the directors, whoever's doing it, will keep a mental note like, oh, they showed up and they started talking to me about the problems. No, you're there to work, guys. You're basically the product there. So get there, be professional, do what you have to do, and leave your emotions at the door, because this is considered a job.
I actually have a very strong example for what it takes sometimes emotionally to switch, because there was one time where my cat passed away and I had to bury my cat at 8 a.m. and say my goodbyes when I already had the makeup done, because I had to go to this gig right after. So I have my makeup now. I'm trying not to cry my best so I don't ruin my makeup. I buried the cat in the morning, and 40 minutes later I was at the job and I was happy and excited at my work, serving tequila to people all day long. And I don't think anybody would have guessed that there was something traumatic that happened to me that morning, because that's your job. Sometimes you have to do what you gotta do. They paid me to be excited, to bring them good energy, and to serve tequila to people. And nobody cares that I just had buried a cat 30 minutes ago.
I care. I'm sorry for your loss. That sounds terrible.
I know, that was a year ago, and
oh
this is a great example, I think, of how you just have to suck it up, and nobody cares about your personal life at the moment. That's not why they paid you.
We're gonna cry after this. Another negative, guys, is income. There'll be some months or weeks where everything's really going well and you're like, oh my God, I'm popping, everything's going so good. And there'll be some weeks where you're like, man, it's been a month, I haven't got any gigs, what's going on? Some months fluctuate, guys. So some months are better than others, some weeks are better than others. So you might not be able to live off of just modeling. You might have to have a gig, an actual job, a 9-to-5, or a part-time job, something that's consistent. But it does get very hard if you're just living off of just strict modeling.
Yep. Another thing I would add to the cons is that some of the jobs and people in the industry may be a little sketchy.
Oh, yeah.
You may have a location sometimes where you're like, I am not sure how safe I feel going to that location, because a lot of productions actually rent space in the super cheap studios somewhere in the middle of nowhere, where it does not, the surrounding looks like you were in the middle of Chernobyl somewhere, and sometimes it could be still legitimate productions, but it can feel a little sketchy, and please make sure you don't fall for scams or don't fall for interactions with some creeps. There's a lot of creeps in this industry as well who buy a camera and pretend like, now I'm a photographer and videographer, please undress for me and I'm gonna give you great photos, babe, when in reality they're just creeps. It happens.
Yeah, do your research, guys, because some people can be very, very sketchy. And yeah, sometimes I've been to on set where it's like, where the hell am I? There's like no houses here. I'm not just driving, and then I get to this one house in the middle of the woods somewhere, and I'm like, I'm gonna die today. But no, it is an actual production, and just stay confident, be yourself, and just do your research, because you never know who you're going to be working with. If it's like a big production team known for the work, check out their Instagram, check out their Facebook, check out their website. Whatever you have to do, stay safe. If you have to let somebody know where you are at all times, do that as well, because your safety is the most important thing.
Yeah, sharing the location with somebody
you trust.
Somebody you trust is also important. Even though there's been time I went for this audition with somebody and I didn't know how trustworthy that person is, and I told my husband, there's my location. If I don't call you back after an hour in there, call me and stuff. And so basically I've spent almost 3 hours, 2.5 hours talking to the producer, and we just had a great conversation. He was not sketchy or anything. But my husband just texted me an hour later how did it go. I never responded because I kept talking and having a conversation. He never called me, he never bothered. It's been 3 hours, I never responded to his text message. And then I'm like, babe, what if I've been like sold for organs already right now? And he's like, well, I didn't want to like interrupt if it was still going on. So
if it was 24 hours, it's too late.
So make sure to discuss an actual plan with somebody who's watching your location sometimes.
Especially if you don't know the person, have never worked with them before, and you seem kind of weird to you. Just always stay safe, guys. Always stay safe. Like I was saying earlier, another con is you're driving and you don't know where the hell you are. So sometimes the drive can be 5 minutes from your location, 20 minutes from your location, up to an hour and a half. Depending, it can also be like 4 hours, because I've driven 4 hours for a location before. So the driving can be a big con for you, whoever it is.
You better like driving. Or there's also maybe people who are in bigger cities, so they're commuting with public transportation. So that may suck sometimes. Sometimes you have to drive or commute somewhere for over an hour just to be seen for 5 minutes in that audition room, and then all that time just driving or commuting back, and that gets annoying, and it's just part of the business. This is
part of the business, guys.
This time you waste on driving or commuting, this is your investment in your modeling career.
And time you drive is sometimes longer than the time you audition. So you literally drove 1 hour, audition for 5 minutes like you said, and you have to drive another hour just to get back home.
And then got a parking ticket.
It's happened to me before. Oh my god.
Another thing I would say, what kind of sucks, well, it's just a little annoying. Every time you go for jobs, especially if it's commercials or photo shoots, it's not like you just have to prepare outfits. You have to prepare a lot of outfits and bring extra options in case if something comes up. So you have to carry a lot of wardrobe, shoes with you, some jewelry maybe, on top of doing your hair and makeup most of the time. And it's just a lot of bags. You're trying not to wrinkle it. You're trying to keep it organized as much as possible. You have to bring all that thing as maybe lotion, deodorant, I don't know what else, extra socks, extra pair of underwear, another color of bra. There's just so many things that you have to carry with yourself constantly. I feel like my arms, I don't have to work them out, because every time I go to the car and from the car, carrying all the bags, carrying everything, that could be very annoying. And most of the time you come to work and then they're like, oh, what you're wearing is okay.
And then other times you come and you bring like last time I brought a whole bunch of stuff. This time I'm gonna bring minimal stuff. And they're like, is that all you got? I'm like, oh yeah. You don't have anything else? I'm like, oh man, why didn't I bring everything? It sucks. It does happen a lot, but that is one of the cons. Sometimes you'll show up with a lot of stuff and they'll want whatever you have on, and sometimes you'll show up with minimal stuff and they're like disappointed because you didn't bring extra. It's happened to me plenty of times.
So it's better to always bring a lot of stuff and just be ready that maybe none of it is ever going to be used.
And they don't always provide the clothes. You have to bring your own. And like she said, makeup, you sometimes have to come prepared yourself. Sometimes they'll do it for you.
But more often than not, you have to do it on your own, especially at this level. If you're a supermodel, you probably don't do your own makeup. But when you're just starting out, for the first couple years,
you have to do everything yourself.
You have to do most of it yourself.
DIY? What is it? Do it yourself?
DIY. Ready?
Yeah.
Done moving your chair?
Yeah. I'm ready.
But there's also a lot of positives in this business, and I say a lot, but honestly we were a little bit scrambling. Because when you're talking about cons, it's easy to remember because it's just this stuff that constantly annoys you just a tad every time you do the work. But then the positives, mostly it's just fun and entertaining and just the feeling that you get. So it's much harder to describe all the positives in this business. But still, let's talk about what we got.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the pros. So one of the pros, guys, is a lot of time you'll have fun on set. You'll meet amazing people, very talented people, very talented directors, and everything they do is just crazy good. So a lot of times, one of the big positives I enjoy is just meeting new people and having a lot of fun on set.
Yeah, people are my favorite part of
Yeah,
the business.
because you're like, what? You did what? You were in a movie? What? You're a real big actor? What? I'm like so surprised every time I go on set and meet somebody that's like huge and famous, and I'm like, didn't even know that, and I'm working right next to them. Like Lana, she's famous.
Oh. That's what he says. Another thing, location. Sometimes the locations are amazing, and it's some kind of places or even museums and stuff. Like I was at the fashion show that was done in the museum, and I've been to that museum before, but not in this way. And it's like some gorgeous locations sometimes that you get to visit when you're on set. My stomach is growling.
She's hungry. It's okay, let's keep going.
I hope the microphone did not hear that.
We're human too, we get hungry.
Okay. So as I was saying, locations sometimes are amazing, and you get to go in some places where you would not have went
before if you were a model.
as a regular.
For example, like I've known some models that have been on a yacht. I've never been on a yacht, but they have. I'm like, what? That's crazy. That's cool. Maybe you'll be on like the highest building. I remember I went to an audition and it was in downtown, and it was like the 60th floor. I've never been to a 60th floor before. I was like, what the heck? This view is amazing. What?
You haven't?
No. And it's amazing just getting to see new locations, or you go to, let's say, a studio you never seen before, and it's like a medieval time area or a 70s area or full of flowers everywhere, and that's so cool to me. Yeah. Every set is different, and every set is a new story, I guess you could say.
And sometimes you get to eat prop food.
Oh yeah. Sometimes they feed you.
On set. Yeah, sometimes they feed you just on set as a regular lunch, and sometimes you just get to eat all that food that you're supposed to eat on camera very slowly, but then the shot is done and they're like, if you guys want it, you can eat it.
Yeah.
I did not most of the time took advantage of things like this, because as a girl, you're not trying to overstuff yourself while you're working. But I know a lot of guys that are very excited about what they're gonna eat on set, and then they get paid for it.
Free food and get paid. Who doesn't love that?
Yes. Another awesome thing that I like about modeling is that every week brings something different. So you're never stuck in the routine. You never feel like every week, every job, every day is the same thing and it just gets boring. No, it's never boring, because every week is different, interesting, brings something new people, new locations, new excitement, and it brings you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Every time you go for a job, you're out of your comfort zone, and you may love your comfort zone, but it's so good when you're
out of it and just feeling confident, and it's just like, who am I right now? Right? Like, well, I've never dreamed of doing this, but it makes you more confident, because you're like, yeah, I'm killing it now. Look at this. I'm a pirate today. I'm a freaking clown today. I'm a astronaut today. Whatever it is, it's just something different every day, and not your routine that you go to a 9-to-5 job doing the same thing every single day. Every day is different, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, definitely builds up your confidence, because there's some modeling jobs where you have to interact on one-on-one basis with a lot of executives, directors of different companies and firms that are not, maybe they're not even like into modeling. They could be from IT business or software design or something, but you are working with them and representing them for event or a convention, and you talk to them the whole day while you're working next to them, and it gives you that confidence to talk to somebody who is what it feels like so much above you, ahead of you, on this whole level of like society. They're like the top people, and you get to talk to them and get to know them, and they talk to you like equal.
Like you're a person,
It gives you all this confidence, and in the future, when I'm just meeting people who are maybe a little intimidating, I am not easily intimidated anymore. After working those jobs,
Yeah.
you can't intimidate me that much by just talking to me or being big or famous. I will
Yeah.
still treat you like an equal. And
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So another pro that I like is sometimes you get to travel, guys. Sometimes the best part is when they pay for your travel. So let's say you live in New York and they fly you all the way out to LA. That's so cool because let's say you've never been to LA and they're literally paying you to go to LA. You get to explore, you get to be in new locations, find new locations, try new foods, whatever it is. That's one of the best pros in my opinion.
True. You also get to try different outfits, different looks, different makeups because they apply it on you and you're like, oh, I haven't felt like this kind of person before, and you get to try different things and see how you like it for yourself. And another big thing, I guess, is just, I don't know, your mama is going to be so proud of you.
Mom, did I make you proud? Please.
I know my mom, she would be like, the first magazine I was on, I sent her a copy of it and she was showing it to everybody.
Yeah.
She was so excited. Look, my daughter's in a magazine, and it's such a big deal to her. Probably even a bigger deal than it is for me, because I'm kind of like, when you're in it, you kind of lose the whole big wow effect from it. But your relatives, your family, they're gonna think you're a superstar when they see you in some commercial on social media or on TV.
Or even in like a store, like a Target or something. I've known some models that had their pictures at a store and I'm like, I want to be that person one day. Or you'll be on a billboard one day and be like, oh my God, I made it to a billboard. You never know. So that's a really awesome pro of it. You get to see yourself in, I guess, a bigger lights, I guess you could say, on TV. I've been on a Facebook commercial, and I've been on an Instagram commercial, and it just feels so cool and exciting, and it's just like, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
Who's gonna stop me now?
But also, please do not expect do not go in the industry just because you hope to get on a billboard and that's your main goal, or you're trying to get famous and that's why you actually have to love doing the whole process, because modeling is not just what you see people doing the photo shoots and smiling to the camera. That's not all there is. There's so much more for it to do. So you kind of have to love just doing the whole modeling instead.
And be happy with the small stuff, guys, because the small stuff will build you up way faster than the big stuff, in my opinion.
Okay, so let's talk about those expectations versus reality. And let's discuss some of the expectations I've seen people have. And I was like, oh, really? That's what you expect from modeling business? That's funny. So expectations versus reality. One of the first thing I see people expecting when they just become a model is that they think as soon as they start something crazy is gonna happen, and they're hoping to be very lucky and be one of those 1 in a million person who's gonna go on a billboard right away or in the TV commercial. Please do not expect this to happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, happen, but this is not the kind of expectation you have to go, because you're going to be disappointed once you see what kind of jobs are actually being offered to you in the beginning.
And also, guys, it takes a while to start getting jobs. To get the ball rolling, it could be like 20 casting calls, could be 30 casting calls. It just depends. You're not going to land every single job. So don't expect going to a casting call and you're going to be the one, okay? It takes time. So don't let that discourage you.
Another big expectation I see from people is that they see models on Instagram, like behind the scenes and stuff, how modeling is just posing and being pretty all the time and interacting with people and being in all these magazines. And people think that modeling job is mostly this, because that's what people see. In reality, it's only about 10% of the whole modeling job what you do. The other 90%, you are gonna be putting together your resume, updating your video reels, taking portfolios, all of that, searching for better photographers to take a better shots of you for your portfolio. You're gonna be searching for casting calls, auditions, going to those, submitting self-tapes, recording those self-tapes, putting them together, learning how to put the video together,
learning how to make a self-tape,
editing, all of that, send it out, never hear back from them.
So don't be expecting to just go off the bat, guys. It does take, like she said, 90% of it, it's all that work, resume, self-tapes, taking your pictures, all that stuff. So that's 90% of the work. 10% of the work is actually taking the photos and doing the work.
Yeah, being in front of the camera is just the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah.
and it's the result. It's not the main job, even though it seems like it's the main job
Yeah.
because this is the main goal.
Yeah.
Why you do all that other stuff, but most of the days you're gonna be spending responding to emails or just building up your network with other people or learning about these new skills that you have to get better at modeling. And there's a lot of other things you're gonna have to do that are not being in front of the camera.
Yeah, not being in front of the camera. So 90% of the work behind the camera, guys. 10% of the work in front of the camera.
Yep, be ready for that.
It sucks. Another common misconception, guys, is that once you take the pictures, you're gonna get them next day or they belong to you. No. Sometimes the pictures can be next day, depending on photographer. Usually it doesn't take next day, up to a couple months. Sometimes you might not even see the pictures at all. The pictures do not belong to you most of the time. Sometimes the photographer will share the pictures with you, but if you're on set taking pictures, those pictures will not belong to you. So you might see them one day, you might not see them at all. So be ready for that. Pictures are not yours.
For some commercials and videos as well, sometimes you have to wait a month for them to be released, and even if photographer was nice enough to send you those photos or video materials for your portfolio, you're not actually allowed to post them or show them anywhere until the commercial starts rolling.
True. You might be taking pictures in May for stuff that doesn't come out till December.
Like you recently did.
Like I recently
Christmas
did.
one.
Yeah.
It was in April, and
Yeah.
you did commercial for Christmas.
Or you'll take a picture and you know it's you, but nobody else will because it's only showing your chin.
Or your hands.
Or your hands.
Yep. Another thing I would like to mention is a lot of girls think that because we see all these pretty models being pampered with makeup artists and hair artists on set, and they think they're just gonna come there and everybody's gonna glam them up. In reality, it does happen a lot in the productions as well, but unless you're a supermodel, most of the times they're gonna ask you to be camera ready when you arrive. So, and it could be like 7, 8 a.m. early, cold time, and you have to drive there for an hour, and you have to come hair ready, makeup ready.
Makeup ready.
And it's very important to know what kind of makeup works best for you. Something natural, but something maybe with a little twitch for your personal self that you know you're gonna look good with. So you can be confident. Bring the touch-up makeups with you. They will ask you some powder whenever your face gets shiny. And it's important to know the difference between real life makeup and on camera makeup. There's a slight difference between those two. Just learn that difference.
Yep.
And
the good news is that the production team, usually if they're good, they'll let you know what type of makeup they want, if you want like neutral colors or things like that. So you don't have to be too like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. They'll let you know what type of makeup or what type of clothes to wear, things like that.
It's wonderful to be a guy in the modeling industry. Look at him. He wakes up pretty.
These eyebrows are Velcro. I can take them off anytime.
I hope not. No, I almost believed you for a second. I was like, what?
They're fake. This beard too.
I need those for myself.
All right, guys. So be ready to not like the photos or the makeup that they do for you, because it's not always going to be everything you expect. You might like your photos or makeup one way, but that's not what the director is looking for, or the photographer, whatever it is. So you might hate the photos, but hey, that's what they want. Remember, you're working for them.
Yeah, sometimes.
Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah. Especially whenever they post me like laughing like crazy like this, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is never something I would ever post in my social media.
Yeah.
But then because it's part of my portfolio, I actually kind of learned how to be okay with even posting it on social media, because I'm a model, and you know, if I don't love the way I look, but this is how other people see me.
Yeah.
So
learn to love all the pictures you get, even if you don't like them personally. If that makes sense.
I think this is all we kind of came up with. The biggest expectations versus reality. I really hope that we did not discourage you guys from becoming a model. But we honestly just wanted to be very straightforward
Mm-hmm.
about some things that you have to be aware of, and so you don't have those pink sunglasses on you.
Yeah.
And we don't want you to get disappointed and drop it as soon as your first expectation
Are not met.
crashes, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh my god, no, like this is not what I expected.
Yeah.
And so you just drop it and give up on it.
Don't give up, guys, because I'm telling you, this world is very, very fun. It can be very exciting, very fun, meeting new people, meeting new talents, and just being in front of the camera. If you love it, it's for you. Don't give up, guys. Stay in there, keep pushing, because that's what I did, and I love every second of it.
Yep. But you do doubt yourself sometimes, right?
Yeah, you do doubt yourself, and it's okay. It's okay to doubt yourself, but just bounce back up. Remember, get that thick skin, because a lot of people will be judging you by the way you look, and you gotta be like, I don't care, I'm freaking sexy. But don't be too over the top and think you're better than everybody else. Be humble.
That's true.
Yeah, always be humble.
That's true.
All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video with people who want to be models.
Yes, please support us. This is our first video. We hope to provide you with much more valuable and structured information in the future. And please write any questions that you may have or whatever you're wondering about modeling business in the comment section, so we know which videos you are the most looking forward to.
Or what questions we should answer in the next video.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for being here, and we really appreciate your time. What did I say? We really appreciate your time. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yes, thank you so much.
Bye. The way you look. The modeling industry is all about looks. It can be a different look, regular look, a look that everybody has, but it all depends on what casting you go to.
I'm sorry.
Reset.
It could be you said it could be a different look, could be a regular look, could be a look
you know
that
what I meant,
everybody
though?
has. Like, what?
I was thinking like that commercial look, you know?
I was like, what does it even mean?
We're not using that one, but we keep going.